Hello and welcome to Prime at 9. I'm Naomi Kikon. Now the news in detail. Chief Minister Nipirio today, while addressing the Nagaland Corporate Social Responsibility and Investment Conclave 2022, informed that the state haven't been able to attract sufficient attention of companies to take up projects from their CSR obligations in Nagaland, and out of the estimated rupees 1.25 lakh crore which companies have spent as a part of their mandatory CSR over the last 7 years, a minuscule 0.006% has been reportedly spent in Nagaland, which he assured that the impact of good interventions will be huge and extremely satisfactory for companies. The conclave was held under the theme Partnerships for Strengthening and Sustainable Development at State Banquet Hall in Kohima.
We have not been able to attract sufficient attention on companies to take up sufficient projects from their CSR obligations in Nagaland. Out of the estimated 1.25 lakhs crores, which companies have spent as part of their mandatory corporate civil responsibilities over the last 7 years, a minuscule 0.006% had been reportedly spent in the state of Nagaland. I'm sure that much more can be dedicated by companies for the state of Nagaland. And I'm assured that the impact of good interventions will be huge and extremely satisfactory for companies also. We would like companies to be in Nagaland for a long term, where they not only have their successful CSR project running, but are also able to integrate local businesses with the national supply chains.
Rio said that India is the first country in the world to make CSR mandatory, and his policy enables businesses to invest their profits in developmental activities. This is a win-win for everyone, as it gives an opportunity to corporates to participate in the development of the country and an opportunity to expand their markets. Rio also said that the company is to be in Nagaland for the long term, where they not only have their successful CSR projects running, but are also able to integrate local businesses with the national supply chains. The Chief Minister also said that state has its own development challenges, like remoteness and geographical terrain makes it challenging for ensuring last-mile public service delivery, particularly in health and education. Stating that the state is already implementing some excellent CSR projects in the areas of health and education, he urged companies and other corporate entities to pursue the draft shelf of projects as may be aligned to their CSR priorities. Chief Minister Nipirio said in the past insurgency and law and order in the state had prevented investors from coming to Nagaland. Stating that ceasefire has been in place with the political groups and the government of India for the last over 25 years, he said government is hopeful that the Naga political issue will be resolved soon. The Chief Minister also said that Nagaland is very peaceful and there is much lesser crime than other parts of the country. Therefore, law and order should not be an issue for investors. Rio further added that the Armed Forces Special Powers Act has also been revoked from 15 of the 72 police station jurisdictions in the state, recognizing the improved situation.
Nagaland, by virtue of its unique attributes, natural and human resources, has an enormous investment potentials which remains untapped. Insurgency and law and order in the state in the past has prevented investors from coming to Nagaland. We are hopeful that the Naga political issue will be resolved soon. A ceasefire has been in place with the political groups and the government of India for the last about 25 years. The state is therefore very peaceful, and there is much lesser crimes than other parts of the country. Recognizing the improved situation, Armed Forces Special Power Act has also been revoked from 15 police stations out of the 72 police station jurisdiction in the state. The law and order should not be, therefore, an issue for investors. If you can check the record, the GOI assessment of crimes and women and children, the state is one of the best in the country.
Chief Minister Nipirio has informed that due to unforeseen circumstances, the Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has rescheduled her visit, and the state government has therefore taken the decision to postpone the conclave. He also informed that Sitharaman has assured that she will come at the earliest at a date which is convenient to her and the state government. Rio also said this while addressing the Nagaland Corporate Social Responsibility and Investment Conclave 2022 today at the State Banquet Hall in Kohima.
As already announced, due to unforeseen circumstances, the Union Minister Finance has rescheduled her visit. The state government has therefore taken the decision to postpone the CSR conclave and the banking conclave. I talked to her personally yesterday and this morning, and she has assured me that she will come at the earliest, at a date which is convenient to her and the state. On behalf of the state government and the people of Nagaland, I also welcome each and every one of you to this event. Indeed, we are privileged to have all of you who could make it despite the postponement.
CEO Investment and Development Authority of Nagaland, Alam Demshi Jamir said the CSR conclave had multiple objectives of bringing in innovation and private capital in meeting developmental challenges of the state, of forging long-term partnerships which would help in further integrating the state's economic players with the national value chains and promoting private industry in the state. The conclave planned to facilitate and encourage companies to take up developmental projects in the state from their CSR obligations.
The state has been going through the throes of financial and resources crunch. That is because the state and the people have not yet realized the potentials and the need for the expansion of the private sector. And the private sector is growing to be the greatest, to be the leading in the development and the growth process of any society. It is time that the people of Nagaland started looking at the private sector with a closer eyes and understanding the way that they have to act and to behave and be prepared for the private sector to enter into Nagaland. And this is one of the main reasons why we had thought of having a conclave in which the people and the leaders could get into touch with the private sectors and get acclimatized.
Meanwhile, the Chief Minister launched single window system compendium Nagaland opportunities and bound by Invest India and IDEN CSR project tracking and management systems anti-initiatives under externally aided programs. During the program, Nagaland Health Program and Nectar were also launched.
Among other states has been lagging behind in receiving CSR funds for development. We are grateful to the Ministry of Finance that they had given us invaluable support for which the event was being organized. I am sure very shortly we will be able to get the convenience of the Honorable Finance Minister and will organize the event as we had envisaged. We have a shelf of projects, as you would all be knowing, based on the developmental needs and priorities. The companies may consider these projects and other projects also wherever they see potential.
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath on Monday presented a report card on the completion of 100 days of his government in his second tenure. A short film highlighting the achievements of the state government was also screened at the event held in Lok Bhavan in Lucknow.
आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में, उनके मार्गदर्शन में अभी हाल ही में प्रदेश में संपन्न हुए विधानसभा चुनाव में भारतीय जनता पार्टी गठबंधन को प्रचंड बहुमत देकर के जिस उद्देश्य से अपना आशीर्वाद दिया था, जीत का वह सिलसिला जन विश्वास का प्रतीक तो था ही, वह निरंतर नित नए प्रतिमान स्थापित कर रहा है। उत्तर प्रदेश के इतिहास में 37 वर्षों के बाद यह अवसर आया था जब कोई सरकार अपना 5 वर्ष का कार्यकाल पूरा करे और 5 वर्ष के अपने कार्यकाल के उपरांत फिर से प्रचंड बहुमत के साथ सरकार बनाए। पहली बार उत्तर प्रदेश के इतिहास में किसी मुख्यमंत्री ने अपना कार्यकाल पूरा किया।
In the action plan for the first 100 days, the Yogi government had decided to club the various departments and schemes into 10 different sectors. Let's have a look at the targets set and the results achieved by the different sectors. Production sector. Work related to flood protection was to be completed before June 15, including the repairing of the old embankments. The e-KYC for farmers was completed by May 31. The government showed commitment to making sugarcane price payments to farmers within 14 days. All necessary efforts were made for this. Furthermore, grant transfer to the units approved under the Uttar Pradesh Food Processing Industries Policy 2017 was done in this period. 2. Infrastructure, industrial development and power. A target for the construction of power lines was set, which was met in a time-bound manner. 7 new substations of 4,126 MVA capacity were to be built in 100 days to make a big contribution to strengthening the power supply. 3. Social security sector. For the modernization of madrasa education, preparations were made to launch a mobile app. The Gram Panchayats were integrated into the food grain purchase scheme and doorstep delivery was arranged. Efforts were initiated towards authorizing fair price shops as common service centers. 4. Urban development sector. With a need to introduce electronic bus services in municipal corporations, the fleet of e-buses operating in 14 cities in the state doubled in 100 days. Meanwhile, preparation to start work on the Gorakhpur Metro Light project has been initiated. The PWD department focused on completing the 100-day action plan as well as on preparing the road network for big plans and accessible traffic. 5. Medical and health sector. Adequate deployment of doctors and nurses for the smooth functioning of medical services was to be made. Eligible professionals were selected by creating posts as per the requirement. State employees and pensioners benefited from cashless medical facilities. Adequate availability of medicine was maintained. 6. Rural development sector. The work of establishing 2 high-tech nurseries in every district was to be ensured through MGNREGA. Meanwhile, at least 2 model gram panchayats in every district were to be saturated with all basic amenities and developmental work. 7. Tourism and Cultural Department. Among other efforts, the online integrated temple information system was developed in view of the convenience of devotees and tourists within the past 100 days. 8. Education and Youth Welfare Sector. Efforts were made to start Wi-Fi facilities in government schools. The career counseling portal Punk, school online monitoring, grading and e-library portals were developed. Important work like Fit India, Namami Kanch, tree plantation, blood donation, cleanliness, relief and rescue from COVID was done. 9. Home Guard and Personal Department. Efforts were made to bring down the response time of UP 112 further to 10 minutes. A single window system for police, prosecution and organization was implemented in a phased manner. In order to strengthen law and order, a new women's PAC battalion was formed in Jalan, Mirzapur and Balrampur districts respectively. 10. Revenue collection sector. In order to intensify the awareness campaign for more merchants to be registered under GST, a target was set to carry forward the campaign by establishing regular contact and dialogue with business organizations and bar associations. The one-time settlement scheme was implemented for the purpose of a speedy settlement of pre-GST litigations and arrears. Andhra Pradesh police arrested 3 Congress leaders for releasing black balloons at Kannavaram airport. Bunches of black balloons were released in the sky to display a protest against Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Andhra Pradesh. In a video shared by news agency ANI, the balloons can be seen being released moments after PM Modi's chopper took off during his visit to Andhra Pradesh. Some Congress leaders released the balloons as a mark of protest during Modi's brief visit to Andhra Pradesh over the centre not granting special status to the state. The balloons were released near the airport when the helicopter carrying the Prime Minister had taken off for Bhimavaram. After landing off his special aircraft at Kannavaram airport, the Prime Minister left for Bhimavaram in West Godavari district by a helicopter to launch 125th birth anniversary celebrations of freedom fighter Alluri Sitharama Raju. Governor Biswa Bhushan Harichandan and Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy, who were at the airport to receive Modi, also left for Bhimavaram by another helicopter. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has announced compensation for kins of 4 construction workers of Katihar's Korha block who were killed in a road accident in Kugidolong area near Andhra Tumugirima district on July 2. CM announced a compensation of Rs 2 lakhs each for kins of labourers. He also asked Bihar's resident commissioner at Delhi, Palka Sani, to talk to senior officials in Nagaland government and make arrangements for bringing the bodies of all 4 workers to their native village in Korha block. The flood situation in Assam improved with 5 people drowning on Sunday. The number of people affected by the deluge declined to over 18.35 lakhs from the previous day's 22.17 lakh, even as 5 more persons lost their lives due to the deluge, an official bulletin said. The death toll this year rose to 179 cases across the state due to landslides and flood. The Assam State Disaster Management Authority issued a daily bulletin which states that 2 persons drowned in Nagaon and 1 each at various places in Karimganj, Lakhimpur and Sivasagar districts during the day. Altogether, 18,25,500 people are still affected by the floods in 23 districts, including Barbeta, Gachar, Darang, Dibrugarh, Hochai, Kamrup Metropolitan, Karimganj, Lakhimpur, Morigaon, Nagaon, Nalbari and Sivasagar. Gachar is the worst hit district with nearly 10.2 lakh people still suffering, followed by Nagaon and Morigaon. Till Saturday, over 22.17 lakh people were affected by the deluge across 24 districts in the state. Currently, 1,618 villages are underwater and 47,198.87 hectares of crop areas have been damaged across Assam, the ASTMA said in its bulletin. Authorities are running 413 relief camps and distribution centers in 20 districts, where 2,78,060 people, including 65,757 children, have taken shelter. That's all we have for now. For more news, keep watching Hornbill TV.